tonight we are starting out with Red Eye, the new Wes Craven's 2005 film starring Rachel McAdams, Cillian Murphy, and Brian Cox. Now, I think this movie was a very good movie. I think it came out about less than 4 years after 9/11. People were still on the edge of their seats, no pun intended, because of 9/11. They didn't want to go on an airplane. This movie is very good. I think Rachel McAdams is just coming off of her 2004 1-2 punch of the year with The Notebook and Mean Girls. And then Cillian Murphy, this was my first introduction to Cillian Murphy that summer with Batman Begins in June of that year. And then this movie, Red Eye, came out during Labor Day weekend. I was only a sophomore in high school when this movie came out. I think this was one of Wes Craven's best films, in my opinion, in the 21st century. Sadly, he passed away in 2015. His last movie was Scream 4. That's why I put up this ghost face mask in honor of him. I think this is I think this is very good. It's a very tension-filled, anxiety-filled movie. I love how the first 20 minutes or so of this movie feels like a romantic film. Two people meet in the airport. You know, they meet in the line, they get bored. Their flight gets delayed. They grab a few drinks before the plane, finally boards. They get all, cutesy-mootsy with themselves. And then as soon as the plane takes off, Cillian Murphy snaps into that more like psychopath, creepy guy. And let me tell you something. Everybody loves his eyes. The blue eyes of his. Man, Wes Craven figured out a way to make Cillian Murphy's blue eyes the scariest eyes on the screen in this movie. Him and Rachel McAdams going back and forth is some of the best acting from both of them in this movie. You gotta understand, like I said, this is only a couple years after 9/11. So seeing someone who can't escape this guy who's sitting right next to her for 4 or 5 hours on a plane, up in the air, she can't escape, she can't go anywhere. You gotta understand how people were feeling when they were watching this movie. It made you feel uncomfortable, it made you feel tense, it made you not want to get on an airplane anymore. And it definitely has the post 9/11 feel. It says, like, the president comes on and says, something political that sounded like George W. Bush said during 9/11. Even Rachel McAdams says, "Are you a terrorist? Are you gonna blow up the building or, crash this plane into a building?" And he's like, "No, I'm not suicidal." It definitely has that post 9/11 feel. But what I like about it is a thriller. It is suspenseful. And like I said, most of the movie, especially the middle part of this movie, is just two actors going back and forth. Like a cat and a mouse. Boom, 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 boom. And like I said, Rachel McAdams was firing on all cylinders. This really showed Rachel McAdams' range, going from The Notebook to being the romantic girl, then the Mean Girls, being the bitch, the asshole, if you will, Regina George, and then doing this horror thriller, being the more damsel in distress, uncomfortable, but also still being a strong character. I really like that. Brian Cox plays Rachel McAdams' father. He's a very overprotective dad. I think we all have one of those parents. I know I do. And the great thing about this movie is only 80 minutes long. It's an hour and 20 minutes, and that's with credits. So this movie flies by. The only part of this movie that I never really liked is when Cillian Murphy gets a pen in his throat, and somehow he's running down the airport, like, full speed, like, and I'm like, how are you able to breathe and run that fast? I never understood that. But that's like the only thing in this movie that makes me go, Well, I think this is a very good Wes Craven movie. I watch it every year during Halloween, the month of Halloween. I think Rachel McAdams gives a great performance. I think Cillian Murphy between Batman Begins playing Jonathan Crane and then going to this movie, it was a 1-2 punch for me to get me on the Cillian Murphy train. And like I said, I think it's one of Wes Craven's best films in the 21st century, other than for Scream 4, which was his last movie he ever did. So anyway, I highly recommend this movie. It's a great movie to watch during Halloween season. It's only 80 minutes long. So for Halloween, this is one of my recommendations. Not the bad here. Happy Halloween.